Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The translation reads like this. Brother Nashi, I'll never forget the day that I met the spiritual healer. I met him, this was in Alexandria. I had left my home, which is looking for a better life here in South Africa. I had been called by one of my best friends. Me and her, we had gone to the same school and we were more like sisters. So she was a hairdresser and I was just working as a maid for this other Somalian couple. So during the day, if we were not so busy at their house, I would be working at their shop. I had a daughter back home and I was trying to work really hard so that I can get enough money to support and to send money to support my family. But things were tough in Johannesburg and it felt like it was really impossible to make enough money. My friend was suggesting that I just find myself a guy that can be paying rent, buy me food, whilst I'll be saving my money. But I was not that type of a woman. I wanted true love and she was like, you will never find true love in Johannesburg. Here it's all about making money. One day, that was when she texted me on WhatsApp telling me that she had heard a rumor about this other healer who could perform a ritual. This ritual, once you have performed it, you'll be able to make a lot of money. But you needed to sacrifice something. She could not tell me on WhatsApp, for she said that she did not know what exactly was needed. Throughout the day when I was at work, I thought about my family, my struggles, and I reached a point where I believed that I had no other choice. If I wanted a better life, it was far much better for me to ask my friend if indeed she really wanted to go and perform this ritual. So we then went and then we kept on asking about this healer, since he was living in Alexandria, but we were told that he was just in South Africa for a very short period of time. When I arrived, the healer looked at me and my friend. What surprised me was that my friend was told that her blood could not connect with the healer's ancestors. He warned us that this ritual was supposed to take place late at night, and there was a lot of blood that was going to be involved. So later on at night, that was when we were taken. They had this other car and there were two Nigerians that were driving the car. I was seated at the back and it was me and the other girls. I was the only foreign girl that was there. If her blood had been accepted by the healer's ancestors, she was supposed to be there with me. But it was me and with these other local girls. They had also came to do the same money-making rituals. Those guys, they drove with us to Pretoria, and then we arrived at this other house. I really do not know what exactly they wanted to do with us, because they would drive, then they would stop as if they were having an argument. So since we were at the back of the pickup, we could not hear what they were talking about in front. But finally, we arrived at the house. When we arrived at the house, we were led into the house. We saw that there was this other woman, a very beautiful woman, and you could tell from the way that her skin was glowing that indeed she is a wealthy woman. She also had a Nigerian accent. One thing I noticed about her was that she had this golden bracelet, and this bracelet, it seemed as if it was moving all around her arm, as if this thing was alive. That was the first thing that I noticed about that woman. And I then found out that she was also a priestess. We were taken into the living room, When we were taken into the living room, that was when we were told that this was the preparation for the final ritual. We asked where this final ritual was going to take place. We were told that the final ritual was going to take place in Senton at their shrine. We were given some charms, and then each one was given a small plate, and to place the small charms inside that plate. And then we were given some lion matches. We all had to burn those charms that had been given to us. And then after that, that was when I felt my entire body being filled with strange sensations. One of the girl that I was with, maybe there is one among her relatives who was very prayerful, because she started seeing visions. She was screaming and she was saying that she saw a demon. This demon was opening up the ceiling as it was crawling out of the ceiling. But then one of the guy who was very tough shut her up and told her that this was not the time to hallucinate. So she remained quiet, but she spoke of a relative who was praying for her in that moment. After that, that was when we were taken to Senton. When we were taken to Senton, at the house where we arrived at, from the outside, one could think that it is just a normal house. But once you go inside the mansion, it is totally different. I saw many empty rooms that had no furniture, nothing, that had these different designs that were quite scary. Some of the creatures that I saw, their symbols, you could tell that this is just pure demonic stuff. Each one of us, we were taken to different rooms. But what surprised me is that when we were all taken to different rooms, that was when I woke up and I found myself that I was at Baragwana Hospital and I was really sick. I was bleeding a lot from my private parts. There were a lot of tests that were done on me, and then the doctor came. When the doctor came, I saw that he was sad, and I knew that the ritual indeed had been carried out successfully. The doctor tried to counsel me first so that I can accept my new condition. The doctor then told me that my womb had become non-functional. That is exactly the word that he used, non-functional. And he wanted to explain it to me. And he said that I would never be able to have children again. Even though it was a tough decision, but in that hospital, I had to pretend. I started crying, but those were just crocodile tears. I was excited and I was happy. When we got out of the hospital, I then found myself, I went back to Alexandra and I met with that healer before he had returned back to his country. We were taken again back to that mansion. That was when we were told that in order for us to receive our payment, we had to participate in an orgy. So there were men that were there, and as for us, we were the ones that were going to be used as toys. We slept with those men as part of the ritual, and after the ritual was done, we were all given money for our wombs. I sold my womb to the devil because of poverty. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister. That was the translation of the message that she sent to me. She's saying that she is still trying to help her best friend, and she stays with her best friend. She is still trying to help her so that she can also become an occultist like her.